Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the InterSim Esports Network once again for your Tuesday night. Tonight, as always on a Tuesday night, we bring you the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship. Tonight is round 3, and your location is the virtual Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit located in West Kingsdown, Kent, United Kingdom. My name's Aidan Schultz. Joining me in the booth, as always, is Paul Jackson. Good evening to you, Paul.
Good evening, Aidan, and good evening, everyone tuning in to the InterSim Esports Network. Tuesday night, good to be back once again with the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship.
Yeah, can't wait for this one, Paul. Good to be back here for the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship, as you just mentioned. And looking forward to this one around Brands Hatch tonight. A little bit of a different circuit. They come off round 2 at the Hungaro Ring, which saw Jordan Mulak at the top again, taking his 3rd win of the series. So will be interesting to see tonight whether Jordan can back that one up as they're in the qualifying session now. It's just started, but Jordan Mulak was at the top of the timesheets in practice for this one. So nothing different here for the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship. Your leader of the championship, Jordan Mulak, up the top. But let's quickly go through or show you the championship points as we head into round 3 here tonight from the Brands Hatch circuit. Jordan Mulak, you can see on top there, does lead the way with a commanding lead after the first 2 rounds on 595 points. Daniel Smith is second there with 484 points. Matthew Feldman rounds out the 3. Jordan Mulak's teammate on 423 points, with not as a dominant night as Matthew Feldman had in round 1, which has seen him drop back to the 2nd position. So you can see the points there. You can see all their incident points, their average starts, average finishes, etc. We thought we'd show you something a little bit different here on the InterSim Esports Network, so you can see those stats. You can go down and find your favourite driver and see where they are in the current championship points. But like I said, ladies and gentlemen, everyone tuning in here to the InterSim Esports Network, whether it be through our Facebook or YouTube platforms, this is round 3 of the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship. As I said, they're in qualifying at the moment. Let's pick a driver to go on board with, and let's go on board with Adam Proctor in the 98 car on an inboard and take you for a lap around the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit. So we'll just bring up that now as we're on board with Adam Proctor. He's just jumped to the top with a 28.79 over the championship leader, Jordan Mulak, with a 129.04. So that was just a warm-up lap. We do expect to get a 124, but Adam Proctor, as he comes through the back end of the track now on his 2nd lap, this is a 10-minute qualifying session or 4 laps. He makes his way into Clark Curve now, the final curve of the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit down the main straight. We'll see whether Adam Proctor can better his time of a 128.79 as he comes across the strike. And as we have a look there, he does with a 125.85. The number 1, the man himself, Steven Skukovic, jumps up to 2nd with a 125.22. Matty Feldman, the 88 entry, up to the top now with a 125.16. So the times are falling quickly. Keep one eye on your championship leader, Jordan Mulak. He's back there in 8th at the moment. Dave Oliver just jumps up to 4th with the 125.94 as we're still on board with Adam Proctor as he makes his way through the famous Surtees curve. So out of Surtees, he comes up over Pilgrim's Drop, down over the hill where they go under the bridge. So another famous part of the famous part of the Brands Hatch circuit. Andrew Smith just straight to the top with a 124.98. So Andrew Smith in the 98 entry, the first man to drop under the 125 mark. Michael Budge has just gotten off track, so he is not going to be able to beat his time on the current lap he's on. But we're still on board now with the 98 of Adam Proctor. He's back there in 6th place with a 125.85. We'll see whether he can better that lap. He's 3rd. This is his 3rd lap through the final Clark Curve here, onto the straight, onto the power, nice and early, up into 5th gear very shortly. Clicks it there as he goes across the start-finish line. Where does this put Adam Proctor? Does he go better? He goes a little better, 125.39, but not good enough to move up the timesheet. So it's still Andrew Smith up the top with a 124.98. Jamie Craig, your second position provisionally at the moment. Jordan Mulak, not surprisingly, your championship leader, just goes to the top. And Dan Smith says, Jordan Mulak, I'm going to get you, mate. And he's gone to the top with a 124.77. So the time's coming down very quickly here for what is round 3 of the PROCAR GT Championship, brought to you by Blendline TV. And all the images brought to you by, of course, us at the InterSim Esports Network. But Dan Smith's currently at the top, 124.77. Jordan Mulak, your championship leader, second place provisionally, 124.87. Andrew Smith, it's the Smithy boys. They did well last round at round 2. So it's Smith 1-3 at the moment, with the latter doing a 124.87. Then they're in the 125 second bracket, and the first of them is Jamie Craig in 4th position with a 125.04. Stephen Skukovic up there, the ever-consistent Stephen Skukovic with a 125.06. And identical times for the 88er Matt Feldman, who's just jumped up over Adam Proctor, Michael Budge and Anthony Holm to sit in the 6th place provisionally with a 125.06. So, Paul, I know you're busy with all the cameras in the background there as we're just going on 6 minutes into this 10-minute qualifying session, but no surprise to see Jordan Mulak at the top, but he's currently been pipped by the 3-1-3 of Dan Smith.
Definitely no surprise there. Jordan Mulak's the man to beat, and he's just jumped back to P1 actually in qualifying. So he's showing why he's the man to beat here tonight, with putting himself up there on P1 for the starting grid.
Yeah, the ever-consistent 196 of Jordan Mulak. It's a place he is very familiar to be here for the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship, is off the pole position. I don't think, apart from the reverse grid that we saw earlier in the season, that we haven't seen the 196 of Jordan Mulak off the front row, or not off the front row, rather. So a very familiar sight there to see the 196 off the pole position, but anyone can beat him yet. We've still got another 3 minutes or 3.5 minutes left of qualifying at the moment. We'll see whether anyone can pip Jordan Mulak to the pole for what tonight will be different to last week. So last week we saw 3 sprint races in a super sprint format. So tonight we go back to the sprint format, and it will be 2 races for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Race 1 will be 15 laps or 20 minutes time certain, whichever comes first. We'll have a very, very quick break, and then we'll go straight into race 2, which will be 28 laps or 40 minutes time certain. Race 2 will have a compulsory pit stop in this one. They have a choice on whether to take fuel or tyres, or both rather. Obviously, if you just take fuel, you're going to transit through that pit lane a lot quicker. So it'll be interesting to see when we do get to race 2 what the strategy are for these guys. We saw a lot of people not take tyres in what was round 1, where they had this format, and it seemed to work for them, but we'll see whether that works around the Brands Hatch circuit. Jordan Mulak and Dan Smith, your provisional 1 and 2, are in pit lane at the moment. It looks like that's all they have for us here tonight, 8 minutes into the 10-minute qualifying session. So we'll just give you a quick recap of your top 10 here for round 3 of the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship. It is provisionally Jordan Mulak on the pole with a 124.6. Dan Smith provisionally out of P2, 124.73. Andrew Smith currently in the 3rd position. Adam Proctor in 4th, and Jamie Craig your 5. Colby Coham up there in 6, or Coham up there in 6. Stephen Skukovic 7th, Matty Feldman in 8th, Garth Duffy 9th, and Dan Green rounding out your 10 currently. So we are getting to the end of qualifying. Obviously, a massive shout out to Blendline TV, the major sponsor of the ProCar GTE Championship. Also, Affordable Web Solutions, Viking Media, and South Gundagai Automotive, which make all this action possible for you guys tuning in to the InterSim Esports Network. We hope you are excited for what will be an action-packed night of Porsche 992 GT action here from the virtual Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit. So we're just about at the end of qualifying now, ladies and gentlemen. If you are tuning in to us at the InterSim Esports Network across our Facebook or YouTube platforms, be sure to drop us a comment. Let us know that you're watching and have a chat to us. Keep us company through the broadcasters. If you do watch our other broadcasts, we do like you getting involved. So thank you for doing that if you see fit. Paul, we're just about into the end of qualifying now. We're going to see the grid line up, ready for race 1 for round 3. Really looking forward to this one to see what all the boys can put on the table here around the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit.
Definitely, and about 8 seconds to go for qualifying to wrap up. So our grid is pretty much set there as we roll over now to race. So we'll go through the grid, Aidan.
Yep, we definitely will. So we'll go through your grid for round 3, race 1 from Brands Hatch. So it's Jordan Mulak off the pole, Dan Smith out of 2. Andrew Smith will be out of P3 with Adam Proctor starting out of the 4th position. Jamie Craig will start out of 5th with Colby Cohen out of 6th. Stephen Skukovic will start out of the 7th position, followed by Matt Feldman out of 8. Out of 9 will be Dan Green, and Garth Duffy will round out your 10. Out of the 11th position will be Cameron Culverwell, sorry. I'll get that right by the end of the night. And out of 12th is Anthony Holm. As we roll over the page, Michael Budge will start out of the 13th position with Dave Oliver out of 14. Brett Smith out of 15 with Dion Jarvis out of 16. Nico Filippetto will start out of the 17th position. Martin Hallinan out of 18. Bradley Carr 19. Russ Green 20. Talon Oz-Turkman out of 21, Adrian Gretsch out of 22, Wayne Visser 23, Ricky Prosenbale 24 as we're about to go green. So 25, Brian Bullock 26, Trav Mason, Lindsay Kearns 27, Ashley Kersey 28 will be your starting order for round 3, race 1 of the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship. Only a couple more drivers to strap in those race cars, virtual race cars, and get ready to go green. I can see a vacant spot there about midfield and at the back. So we're about to go green. They'll be getting their nerves up. This is the most nervous part of the night. First race start. Can they get that second clutch to engage and get off the start line nice and smoothly? As the lights come on, we get ready to go. We'll count the lights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we are green for round 3, race 1 of the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship. Jordan Mulak with a great start off the pole position. Dan Smith just falls in behind him as they make their way down through Paddock Hill Bend. They'll come up into Druids now. No one really making a move there. Andrew Smith, who's always racy early in that predominantly green car, looks there on the inside of Dan Smith, but not any room there for him to make that move. So keep an eye on Andrew Smith to try and make some moves early in this one. As we've seen, that is what he's wanted to do in the first 2 rounds of this championship. Round 2 didn't go the way of Andrew Smith with a couple of incidents there, but he's definitely shown a lot of pace here for the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship. So they head over the hill there, down in through this very fast right-hand corner. Up through Westfield they'll go, and then they'll go down once they come through Westfield here. Oh, a big slide out of there, but they'll come down this hill and then up into here. This is called Dingle Dell. So they'll go through here and come back around, then into Sterling's, this left-hand corner. Jordan Mulak with a nice little lead there at the front there at the moment. So he'll be liking that one. So they come up the straight here into the final curve, which is, sorry, they just, I'm getting all confused here. They go through Paddock Hill Bend there, the last curve there, Clark Curve, the last curve there, and make their way down the main straight. There was a little bit of an incident there in the background, so not sure who that is. We'll go back and have a look at that in a minute, but Jordan Mulak still off into the distance in this one. Dan Smith looked like he got a little bit loose there out of 1, or was it? It was the battle between Stephen Skukovic and Dan Smith and Jamie Craig there at the front, as we see a breakaway now for the first 2 drivers. But look who we've seen go backwards. Andrew Smith, after starting out of the 3rd position, is back in 15th spot. So I think an incident happened there into Druids with Andrew Smith, and might have been Dan Smith there. Not sure if we can bring that back to you, Paul, as we go to the instant replay. Looks like Paul's 1 step ahead of me. So just keep your eyes peeled on the green or yellow car, whatever you want to call it, of Andrew Smith as he makes his way through Paddock Hill Bend there and just gets all out of shape and ends up in the sand trap on the exit of Paddock Hill Bend. So once again, 3 races in a row for Andrew Smith there in that car, showing a lot of pace, but just not being able to convert it into a race, Paul. So not the start that Andrew Smith would have made it, and would have liked rather. So now we'll just watch and see how many places he can pick off as he's chasing down Tayfun Ozturkin there, who's currently in 14th position. But last time round, as we just go on board with Brett Smith there. So we'll go and have a look where Mr. Brett Smith is. He's up in the 9th position at the moment. So Brett Smith is battling Matt Feldman and Michael Budge. Michael Budge is in front of Brett Smith as we see a big lock up into one there, which I believe was Martin Hallinan or Dan Smith. Dan Smith is off too on the exit of Paddock Hill. Brand on the way up to Druids. So Dan Smith, it's a Smith show at the moment with mistakes in this one. So they're not going to like the start of that as we're lap 3 of 15 laps here around. Oh, another big incident there. A car off into the grass. Brian Bullock or Ricky Provenzale in trouble here. So cars going left, right and centre here, Paul.
Definitely, it's all action-packed here. A few lockups, a bit heavy on the brake there, and the car stepping out on them.
Yeah, you can get very light in these cars, especially with the ups and downs or the undulation rather, of this track, especially into those braking zones. There's some off-camber corners, downhill braking zones, so putting a lot of pressure on the left and right-hand side of the car under braking as we see a move there. Ricky Provenzale coming straight back up, and that's going to push someone off in the background as well. That's Ashley Kersey. So unfortunate for Ashley, just getting put on the wrong side of the racetrack there and had to get out of that one and go a bit of grass cutting. But no harm, no foul there. And Ashley Kersey comes back on track in the 24th position. So we'll see whether Ashley can make a move there as he just pokes his nose out as he heads up into Clark Curve for the final corner of the Brands Hatch track. We'll see whether Ashley Kersey can make the move on Nico Filippetto as they come down into turn 1. Paddock Hill Bend, he's up the inside, and up the inside, looks like that's Dion Jarvis rather passing. So my apologies there, ladies and gentlemen. You could imagine live timing's going crazy right now with all the different changes in this race. But at the point, Jordan Mulak, a 3.3 second gap over Steven Skukovic, has had a nice solid start to this one. 5 spots up on his starting position, so he's currently in P2. Last lap around, Jordan Mulak, a 124.77 as opposed to Steven Skukovic with a 125.34. Keep your eyes, ladies and gentlemen, on the 39er Jamie Craig in the 3rd position there. The blue car you can see on your screen all over the back of Steven Skukovic. We'll stay on this battle for 2nd place in the motor race and see whether Jamie Craig has anything for Steven Skukovic there. So they'll come down into the final corner through Clark Curve again, this time across the strike. They will take lap 5 of 15. So we're already a third of the way through the race, ladies and gentlemen. You blink and you miss it. So lap 5 now of 15. We're back there. There's the battle for 3rd and 4th place between Adam Proctor and Colby Coham. So 4th and 5th place of Adam Proctor and Colby Coham. My apologies. So Colby really ranging up on the back of Adam at the moment. So does Colby have anything for Adam early in this one? Tyres do tend to start going off around this time, and then they just plateau. So the drivers might find it harder and harder to make these moves as the race does progress. So we'll see how that plays out. But Colby Coham showing a clean set of heels as always at the front. Now 4 seconds the better of Steven Skukovic, Jamie Craig, Adam Proctor and Colby Coham rounding out your top 10. Let's go back and have a look at some of your big movers here, ladies and gentlemen, for round 3, race 1 of the Blendline TV ProCar GT Championship here on the InterSim Esports Network. Bradley Carr started out of the 19th position. He's up 9 spots at the moment in 10. So good start there by the 85 of Bradley Carr. Likewise, Adrian Gretsch up 9 positions into the 13th position. So good start there by Adrian Gretsch. Another notable would have to be the number 16 of Brett Smith. He is up there 7 positions up on his starting position. He is in 8th. But now we need to mention the notable losers in this one. Andrew Smith in that fluoro green car, the ever-fast Andrew Smith, just lacks a little bit of that consistency lately. He's moved his way back up to 11th after falling down to 15th, but he's still down 8 spots on his starting position. Likewise, Dan Smith in the 313. He's back there in 14th position, as we see Andrew Smith get a really big inside lock up there as he went into Druids. But Dan Smith in the 313, he's 12 positions down on his starting position. Also Dan Green in the 83, he's back in 21st, down 12 positions on his starting position. So there's some winners and there's some losers here early in this one. We will see how that all plays out. But let's, as we always do, pick one of our, pick one of our sponsors and have a chat about what they do and what they do for this series and also what they do for their business. So of course tonight we'll start with South Gundagai Automotive. So South Gundagai Automotive was established back in 2018. They do all your general mechanical repairs and maintenance, registration inspections, whether it be height or heavy or light vehicles rather. They can also do electronic diagnosis and repair. They offer a tyre fitting service as well. If you do have a real-life race car and you're down in the Gundagai Automotive, look no further because South Gundagai Automotive also offer race car preparation and repairs. They do wheel alignments and they can also do full car setups for you as well. So not only if you have the everyday car or whether you have that special race car in your garage or shed that you take racing on the weekend and you're down in the South Gundagai region, shout out to those guys. Go and support the people that support the iRacing community. You can catch them on Facebook or you can get them through the World Wide Web. Google South Gundagai Automotive and you can get all their contact details and they will fix you up with anything you need car related. So a massive thank you to South Gundagai Automotive for coming on board with this series. But we're now lap 7 into 15 and Jordan Mulak has extended that lead to 4.43 seconds as we're on board with him now as he makes his way out of Druids. Makes his way through Sterling's and he's going to come up to the final Clark curve here, which will see him complete the 7th lap of 15 here for race 1, round 3. This is a familiar sight we're used to seeing here, ladies and gentlemen. Brands Hatch is a different circuit, round 3, but it's still the 196 of Jordan Mulak at the front of the motor race. A very, very, very familiar sight. Steven Skukovic, nice solid run so far here for race 1. He's still holding off Jamie Craig there in the 3rd position. Adam Proctor slowly raging up on the back of this battle as well. And he's bringing Colby Coham up with him. So it could be a 4-car battle as sooner rather than later. Or the 3rd position of this motor race, Matt Feldman, slowly coming up there as well. He's back in the 6th position. You can see him just lurking in the background there. So they make their way up the hill. Big wheel spin there for Steven Skukovic, and this has allowed Jamie Craig to get a good run. Jamie Craig covers off as they come down over Pilgrim's Drop. They're going to come through Hawthorne Bend here. Nothing Steven Skukovic can do as they make their way through Hawthorne Bend, and we have a change for 2nd place here, and it is the 39 of Jamie Craig making it done on Steven Skukovic. Adam Proctor sitting in there behind. That's allowed Adam Proctor, Colby Coham and Matt Feldman to catch up on this battle. So now it definitely is a 4-car battle for 2nd place, 3rd place, 4th place, 5th place and 6th place in this race. Matty Feldman just a little bit off the back there at the moment, but we'll see whether Steven Skukovic has anything to come back with here on Jamie Craig or whether Adam Proctor has anything for Steven Skukovic, and likewise Colby in the 25 car, whether he's got anything. But I tell you what, they're all covering down the main straight, not wanting to get in the draft. Steven Skukovic looked like he was having a nice little look up the inside there of Jamie Craig. Couldn't quite get it done there as they make their way up into Druids once again, lap 9 of 15. So this is definitely the battle we need to watch in this one, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, if you're tuning in here on the InterSim Esports Network, as I've said, Facebook or YouTube, share it to all your friends, comment on the streams, get involved as this race is a quick, short race. We're going to go into a longer race very shortly, but I tell you what, let's keep concentrated on this one. Lap 9 of 15, Adam Proctor with a good run there out of the corner, right up behind Steven Skukovic. Does he have anything for Steven? They come over Pilgrim's Drop once again up into Hawthorne Bend. Steven Skukovic covers his line there on Adam Proctor. So now, as he just takes a little bit of grass there. So Adam Proctor is right up the back hassling Steven Skukovic. But what this has done, this has allowed Colby Coham to just get right up onto the back of him. So He needs to watch when he wants to make his move here, because he's a sitting duck if he makes the wrong decision. Colby right on the back of him, and this has allowed Matt Feldman to come right up on this battle as well, as Matt just takes a little bit of grass there on the exit. So they make their way down into Clark Curve again one more time. Steven Skukovic is playing defence. That's all he's got at the moment. You'll see him move. No, thought he was going to move to the inside as he does that a little bit and covers off there on Adam Proctor. See the rear rotors completely screaming for help there through the first turn. They were glowing red, but Steven Skukovic still leading this pack of 4 cars for third place in the motor race. Steven Skukovic doing a great job there with his racecraft, just keeping that 992 Porsche in the position that it needs to be to not allow Adam Proctor to make this move. But we'll see whether Steven can make his way out of this corner a bit better than what he did the lap prior, where he got a lot of wheel spin. So he's got off the corner a little bit better this time as they make their way down over Pilgrim's Drop once again. So up they come into Hawthorne Bend. No place here to make a pass for either of these drivers. This is still the battle to watch. Jamie Craig's looking in his mirror and just going, guys, you just keep doing that. I'm just going to walk away in front of you guys. So Jamie Craig now solidly in second place. He's put that gap out to 1.68 seconds over the number 1 car in third place there of Steven Skukovic. He's getting a little bit of a gap now on the 4th place, Adam Proctor, Colby Coam and Matt Feldman. It's definitely heating up for 4th, 5th and 6th at the moment. So Colby's all over the back of Adam there as they make their way through the final curve, the Clark Curve here at Brands Hatch Grand Prix Circuit. This time across the strike, we're 12 laps into 15. So 11 laps into 15. Looks like Colby's making a move, and we've got a switch back through one. Is Colby going to return the favour as they make their way up into Druids? It looks like he is. Up the inside, Colby's just gone, Adam, I'm going to do that back to you. So thank you so much. This has allowed Matt Feldman to get a part of this as well. But what racing here, ladies and gentlemen. A double switch back there through the first 2 corners here of the Brands Hatch circuit. Great driving by all drivers involved there. But it's definitely not over. We're on lap 11 of 15. These guys are out to play. So it's Colby Coham, the better of Adam Proctor and Matt Feldman at the moment. As Matt Feldman gets a massive run down over Pilgrim's Drop. Nothing he can do there into Hawthorne. So they make their way through Hawthorne. Matt Feldman's just staying there, having a look. He catches a little bit of grass on exit as he makes his way through Westfield. Makes his way through that corner now. He's all over the back of Adam Proctor, up through Dingledale. And then they'll make their way into Sterling's. Oh, as there's a big lose there. Colby Coham with a massive lose there on the exit of the Dingledale section of this Brands Hatch circuit. That is Colby Coham with a massive lose. And that brings Adam Proctor and Matt Feldman up to 4th and 5th as we go back and have a look at this replay. So the 25 here just comes up over the hill into this very tricky high-speed section. He's just looks like he's carrying a little bit too much rear brake in that car as the fuel's worn out or dropped out of this car, and it's just rotated through that fast right-hand corner, and that is all she said for Colby. He's going to be disappointed in this one. That's put him all the way back to 14th position, but I tell you what, that was some really great racing. But back with your leader, Jordan Mulak, at the moment in the 196. He's got a 4.5 second lead over Jamie Craig. His last lap was a 125.86. Jamie Craig showing a little bit of pace here late, Paul, with a 125.14 last time around. So he just took 0.7 of a second out of your race leader last time around. But Michael Budge now we're on board with. He's up 5 positions on his starting position. His last time around was a 126.72. So he's got Andrew Smith in front of him at the moment and Brett Smith behind him. So he's got a Smith sandwich at the moment. I like a Smith sandwich, Paul. It can usually like putting some of my potato chips on some bread. So he's in a virtual Smith sandwich at the moment. We'll see whether he can hold on to that one. But Andrew Smith has some great pace. He has made his way back up into 7th position after turning the wrong way early on in this one. Only a short race, 13 laps of 15 done in the books. Andrew Smith pushing the back of Dave Oliver. We'll see whether he can get that move done with 3 laps to go in this one. It is 13 of 15. Jordan Mulak already taken that 13th lap. So these guys are a little bit behind at the moment. So we'll see whether Andrew Smith can make a move on Dave Oliver. Matt Feldman is still right in behind Adam Proctor as well. He's got about the same distance as you see on our screen now, but we'll keep on with this battle. Dave Oliver and Andrew Smith all using all the exit there as they make their way into 30s once again. Andrew Smith really looks like he is lining up for a move here. So let's see what Andrew Smith has for Dave Oliver. Nothing he can do here over Pilgrim's Drop down into Hawthorn Bend. He's a little bit too far behind. So we'll see what happens here. Andrew Smith just makes his way through. They've been catching a little bit of grass on the exit of Hawthorn Bend tonight, but they make their way nice and cleanly through there. They didn't do what Colby did the previous lap. This is the section of the track where Colby did that through Dingledell section. They make their way through there nice and cleanly down into Stirling's. Andrew Smith is going to want to have a look on Dave Oliver sooner rather than later, as there's only 2 laps to go next time around. So they make their way down into the final Clark curve for what will be the 3rd last time, ladies and gentlemen. Down the main straight of Brands Hatch they go once again. Andrew Smith right up the back of Dave Oliver, really wanting to make a move. He just feints there on the inside to put his car in the mirrors there of Dave Oliver, but Dave Oliver's wiser to that one, Andrew, and goes, no, thank you, you're not close enough to make the move. Andrew Smith very late under brakes. He's lucky he had a very, very nice Dave Oliver there that just opened that steering wheel and saw Andrew Smith coming. So there we go. Andrew makes the move and he's up to 6th position. Dave Oliver back to 7th. We'll see whether Dave Oliver can return the favour here, but look at this battle. Brett Smith and Michael Budge. Michael Budge looking very racy, trying to make the move, and he just pressured him out of... Look at the mistake there. So Brett Smith made a mistake. You saw Michael Budge just put his nose into the mirror as Andrew Smith did a couple of laps prior, and he's made the move there, Dick. So here's Dan Smith on the outside of Martin Hallinan. So here's another battle, 11th and 10th. So this is for a top 10 position, but they make their way through there nice and cleanly. So Dan Smith there in that beautiful livery there. Oh, no room to pass there. He fainted there. That was where we saw Colby have the accident. I thought he was going to chuck it up the inside there, but definitely no move there. But they make their way through Stirling's, and Jordan Mulak will go back to your leader. He has now taken the final lap here for race 1 for round 3 of the Blendline TV ProCar GT Championship, brought to you here on the Indosim Esports Network. Jordan Mulak, 4.7 seconds the better of Jamie Craig. Then Steven Skukovic still holding on for 3rd position over Adam Proctor and Andrew Smith, your 5. So Jordan Mulak makes his way through Surtees for the final time here. He'll get on the power, come up over Pilgrim's Drop for the final time, and come up to Hawthorn Bend. All but anything going wrong here. This is Jordan Mulak's race to lose with half a lap to go of the Brands Hatch circuit. Jordan Mulak going for his 4th win out of the season so far. The only time he hasn't won is with the reverse grid, I believe, Paul. But a great job by Jordan Mulak, definitely showing how fast he is in the Porsche 992. So we'll keep on with Jordan Mulak now as he goes through Stirling's for the final time. One more corner to navigate and he will take yet another win here for the Blendline TV ProCar GT Championship. So Jordan Mulak comes through the final Clark curve for the final time, and your winner for race 1, round 3 of the Blendline TV ProCar GT Championship is Jordan Mulak. 2nd place will go to Jamie Craig with a solid drive. Steven Skukovic will hold on to the final podium position in P3. Coming across the line in P4 now is Dave Oliver. Andrew Smith with a great recovery drive in 5th. 6th and 7th will be Michael Budge and Brett Smith. Martin Hallinan holds on for 8th. Brett Smith 7th, Martin Hallinan holds on for 8th, Dan Smith 9th, and Matt Feldman comes home to round out your top 10, Paul. 15 laps around Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit, Paul. Definitely goes very quickly, but what a great drive for the 196 of Jordan Mulak once again.
Definitely, hands down, he's the man to beat, as we've said, and he's showing why he's won pretty much every race bar one, I think, as you mentioned. So that reverse grid race, he did have a top 5 finish in that race as well. But starting on pole, taking the win for round 3, race 1.
Yeah, amazing driving by Jordan Mulak tonight and the whole championship so far. But it is a long championship, 10 rounds. This is only the third round, so a lot yet to play out here for the Blendline TV ProCar GT Championship. But let's just go through your full final placings there for what was race 1. I'm not sure whether they're gridding up straight away for race 2 or whether they're having a little break in between. But your final results there for race 1, as it's just done what it does to us most times and has a heart attack and brings up the second screen. But Jordan Mulak, your race winner. Jamie Craig, Steven Skukovic, your 3. Dave Oliver, Andrew Smith, rounds out your top 5. Michael Budge, Brett Smith, Martin Hallinan, Dan Smith and Matt Feldman will be your 10. Andrew Gretsch, Bradley Carr, Adam Proctor, Ricky Provenzale, Dan Green, your 15. Garth Duffy, Wayne Visser and Anthony Holm brings it home in 18th position. 19th position was Nico Filippetto, Dion Jarvis in 20th, Brian Bullock 21st, Colby Coham with that unfortunate incident in 22nd, Russ Green 23rd, Trav Mason 24th, Ashley Kersey will be the 25th position. Lindsay Kearns 26th, Tafen Ozturkman there in 27th, and Cameron Culverwell comes home 5 laps down in the 28th position, Paul. What a great race that was, but now, very, very shortly, we'll just wait for that to happen. Usually they will have a little bit of a warm-up session, which it looks like they're doing now, so we might take a little bit of a time now to just go on board with a driver of Paul's choice while they do this little warm-up session and let you watch a couple of laps around the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit. Well, we just have a little bit of break, ready to bring you all the action for what will be race 2, round 3 of the Blendline TV ProCar GT Championship right here on the Intersim Esports Network. So on board currently with Lindsay Kearns, ladies and gentlemen, and I am back. I just had to go and grab myself a little bit of a refreshment ready to bring you what will be an action-packed race 2 for round 3. But let's take the opportunity again to highlight one of these amazing sponsors here for the Blendline TV ProCar GT Championship. Affordable Web Solutions is your business on this occasion. Affordable Web Solutions, they take away the overwhelm by helping motivated and ambitious small business owners to bring their online presence to reality. They do that by using proven strategies to design and develop websites that provide a quality return on your investment. So if you do have a business there, and we know how tough it is through these times of COVID, but we do see Australia and the rest of the world slowly opening up. So now's the time to take that opportunity and really try and grow that business. Get on board or get in contact with Affordable Web Solutions, and they'll be sure to look after you through what can be a very, very busy and confusing World Wide Web, and they'll be able to help you with all your marketing through that area if you need to. So be sure to get on to them. You can find them obviously on the World Wide Web, Affordable Web Solutions, or they will be through your socials on Facebook as well. So a massive thank you to Affordable Web Solutions for being a part of the Blendline TV ProCar GT Championship here on the Intersim Esports Network. But Paul, race 1, it definitely had a lot. It went really quickly, 15 laps, but we're going to go into a longer race this time. We're going to bring you 28 laps of the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit, but this time we're going to throw in a pit stop. So that's definitely going to open the can of worms for all the drivers. Are they going to take tyres? Are they going to take fuel? Are they going to take both? They're definitely going to have to take fuel, because a little bit of information for you here, ladies and gentlemen. So they have 45% fuel drop. So they only get 45% of their fuel tank filled at the start of this one. When they decide to pit, the pit lane transit time is 13.5 seconds. If they just decide to take fuel, that will take 9 seconds to top the tank up. So that'll be a total transit time of 22.5 seconds. If they decide to take tyres and fuel, their total transit time will be 50.5 seconds. So 28-second difference if you want to take tyres. Are they going to be able to make 28 seconds up across which is a pretty short and frantic 28-lap race? Not sure they're going to be able to do that. When I saw the lack of rather time drop off there with lap times in race one, you'd want to be a very brave man, but don't be surprised if you see someone that might not have a sensational start to race two maybe take that strategy during the race to see whether that will make their way back up. But it's okay having a little bit of race pace, or car pace rather. You still need to be able to make those moves. And as we saw in race one, Brands Hatch is not always the easiest track to be able to make those moves, as it is a very undulating and quite tight track. You need to be very committed when you're trying to make that pass. So whoever decides to take that strategy is going to find it very difficult, but I'm sure we might see somebody take that. But we'll wait and see. That's everything here to play out for what will be race two for round three of the Blendline TV ProCar GT Championship, Paul. I know you're busy there in the cameras because this track's a little bit different. We do have camera packs and everything we're bringing to you, but it's very undulating, as I've said, and the cars go behind trees and hills and everything all the time. So you might have a few calluses on your fingertips at the end of this one, Paul.
Definitely working this mouse like a madman here at the moment, trying to keep up with the cars so we can keep the images rolling along nicely of everyone on track.
Well, you're doing a great job, mate. Better than I am calling. I sometimes get a little bit jumbled up because these guys are making moves and things are happening across the track a lot quicker than I can talk. But we hope you're liking all the action here on the InterSim Esports Network for the ProCar GT, or sorry, Blendline TV ProCar GT Championship on what is a sensational night to go Porsche 992 racing. It's Tuesday night. I hope you're strapped into your living room, your computer room, wherever you may be, watching all the action here on the InterSim Esports Network. Of course, we can see you watching. We're watching you as you're watching us. Be sure to comment on all the action here, your favourite driver, your favourite livery, who you think's going to take out round two, what you thought of race one, anything you want to say to keep us company here on the InterSim Esports Network. You can do that across our Facebook and our YouTube platforms. We've decided to go away from Twitch at the moment, ladies and gentlemen, as it hasn't seemed to be that beneficial for us. So we are concentrating across the Facebook and YouTube programs. But we've just gone through that little warm-up session that the drivers had there, and we're about to strap in and go to race two. So there's your starting order here for race two. Jordan Mulak once again will be off your pole position. Jamie Craig out of P2. Stephen Skukovic out of 3. Dave Oliver out of 4. Andrew Smith will be out of P5 after a good comeback drive in race one, with Michael Budge in P6. Brett Smith 7, Martin Hallinan 8, 9 Dan Smith, 10 Matt Feldman, 11 Adrian Gretsch, 12 Bradley Carr. We'll quickly go through this 13. Proctor, Prosenvale, Green, Duffy, Visser, Holm, Filippetto, Jarvis, Bullock, Cohen, Green, Mason. As we're about to go, Green will try and get that in. So Kersey, Kearns, Oz Turkman and Culverell will be your grid as they're ready to go. Green here for race two, round three of the Blendline TV ProCar GT Championship here on the InterSim Esports Network. The nerves rise, the revs rise. They're waiting for the final two drivers to go, and they're ready to go. Watch the lights. You got 1, we got 2, we got 3, we got 4, we got 5, and we're green here again, once again, race two. As we have the second row there, I believe that was Dave Oliver not getting off the line. Race two, every week we have seen a massive incident off the start line. It seems like they have avoided that one there as they make their way up into the second corner once again. So up through Druids they go. We'll see whether they can all make it cleanly here out of Druids. As we've just put the commentator's curse, and we've got a car around 2, 3, 4, 5 cars involved in that one. A little bit of damage. A car in the background there just getting away with that. And it looks like he's just spun it on the grass trying to get out of there. So little bit of an incident there, Paul, as the Jordan Mulak once again leads the way here. But we'll see if we can go back and have a look at that incident through Druids for turn 2. So we have a look here. We'll just keep an eye on what happens up in front. Looks like it's a little bit of nose to tail action as they come through Druids. We'll slow it down right there. It looks like the blue and yellow car there has just made a little bit of contact with Russ Green there. Oh, Nico Filippetto gets a little bit of air there on the outside as they clash guards. He was lucky not to turn that motor car over, but that's not the start Russ Green wanted in this one. So Wayne Visser there, also a part of that as well in the 175 car. So Ashley Kersey also a part of that as well. So not the start they wanted between those guys. But Jordan Mulak still leading the way in this one as he goes through the Paddock Hill Bend for the second time. They're already coming up to land to lap Andrew Smith, who started out of the 6th position. So Andrew Smith has got involved in that incident or another incident at some stage, because he's dead last and looks like he's just pulling over for everyone. So Andrew Smith with another not terrible race in regards to how the man can drive, but I reckon he's got a bit of my luck when I go racing, because speed sometimes never is an issue, but maybe converting into a result sometimes has been. So it's been really unlucky for Andrew Smith. Hopefully that luck changes for him. Dave Oliver's gone a lap down as well at the moment. So oh, no, sorry, my live timing just for some reason. It might have done that because Andrew Smith was going slow in the background. But Dave Oliver then, he eventually got it off the line there. He is in the 3rd position. Brett Smith in 4th position. Dan Smith in 5th. But Jordan Mulak once again with a nice little lead early on in this one. So who's going to take what strategy here with the pit stops? They're all just settling in slowly, getting into their rhythm, going around and seeing where their pace is compared to their competitors around them. But what we saw in race 1, they definitely want to make moves. They're not happy to just sit there and try and put their car in a good position for the back end of the race. They want to go. But in saying that, it is sprint race round and it is all go. Although, like I said, they do have to go and do a pit stop in this one. So that will mix it up a little bit. But Michael Budge there, we're on board with. He's all over the back of Dan Smith. These guys can't get away from each other. So Michael Budge, he started 6th in this one, currently in 6th, just puts his nose into the mirrors there, left-hand mirror there of Dan Smith. Dan Smith's had a great start to this one. He started out of 9th. He's up to 5th currently. So we'll see whether he can keep moving his way forward. He's got Brett Smith in his sights as well as he's got Michael Budge in his mirrors. So Jordan Mulak's 1, Jamie Craig, Dave Oliver, Brett Smith and Dan Smith is your 5. Michael Budge currently, as we see on screen at the moment, still all over the back of Dan Smith. There's a battle behind too for Martin Hallinan, Adrian Gretsch and Adam Proctor, who's having a nice little racy battle at the moment. This is about a 6, 7, 8, 9 car battle here. So Anthony Holm a part of that as well. Anthony's had a pretty good... And Dan Green making a move as they make their way through the final Clark curve. See whether Dan Green can get that done. Can he get the run down the straight? Looks like he can, but Paul, a great start to this one, mate. I know you're busy with the cameras. A great start. We didn't see that big pile up we're accustomed to in race 2 here at the Blendline TV ProCar GT Championship. I'm glad they didn't do that. I'm sure a lot of the guys are seconding those comments as we see a move there between Dion Jarvis as well, I believe, a part of that one. But mate, they got away cleanly. Another car just didn't quite get that jump off the start, but they made their way through the first and 2 turns pretty cleanly, bar that little incident.
Yeah, I think Steven Skukovic there, sitting back in 15th. So He was P3. I think he just spun the tyres a little bit off the start there, maybe getting a little bit loose and pulling out of that line. And all the cars there doing a good job just to avoid the car in the middle there off that start.
Well, he's one to keep one eye on then, I think, ladies and gentlemen, because Steven Skukovic showed some really good pace there in race 1. So he's got a good car under him. We'll see whether he can make some moves, but he's got an angry pack in front of him. He's got Dion Jarvis, Ricky Prosenzale, Anthony Holm, Dan Green, Adam Proctor, Matt Feldman, Adrian Gretsch. The list goes on as we're watching Adam Proctor Brett Smith at the moment we've gone back to in the 5th position. So Brett Smith still has Michael Budge all over the back of him. We see Martin Hallinan and Adrian Gretsch in the background there as well, just waiting for this little battle to spice up a little bit so they can come and take the crumbs if something does happen. So Michael Budge right up behind Brett Smith right there. It seems like he can't quite get any closer than what he is at the moment, whether he's just letting these tyres warm up and getting settled into his groove. We're now lap 5 of 28. It goes very quickly. Michael Budge just positioning his car sort of centre of track on entry of turns there, getting in the mirror, but that's not allowing him to get those exits out of the corner to get the run. As you can see, the likes of Matthew Hallinan and Adrian Gretsch and Matt Feldman getting really close to each other there as they make their way down over Pilgrim's Drop through the Hawthorne Bend and then up into Westfield. So what a great race here so far. Anthony Holm part of this. You always know where Anthony is because he's got that black and white striking livery. We always seem to call Anthony Holm. He's always a part of the battles. So Anthony Holm there just outside the top 10 in 12th as he gets very squiggly there through... Matt Feldman gets very squiggly there through Sterling's. Anthony Holm just made the pass on him, so Anthony Holm up into the 11th position. Matt Feldman down 2, so started out of 10. He is now into 12th. We're 2 wide down the main straight at the moment. Dion Jarvis making the move there on Ricky Provenzale. And we've got Steven Skukovic in the background there waiting to pounce as well. So Dion Jarvis making the move there on Ricky Provenzale, gets that done as Steven Skukovic may have just tapped the back of Ricky Provenzale there, or whether Ricky got a little bit light in the rear of that car under braking, not sure, but we'll be sure to go back and have a look at that replay when it's available to see what happened there. So Steven Skukovic a part of everything early in this one. So they'll make their way through the first corner, Paddock Hill Bend, up here into Druid. Steven Skukovic just on the inside there. And not quite sure, we might have to watch that one from Steven Skukovic's angle because very close to contact there. It looks like, not quite sure who was at fault of that one, but I would say that could possibly been Steven Skukovic. So we're just going on the chase view at the moment of the number 1 of Steven Skukovic. We're in car and bang, there it is. Just a little bit of a tap on the right-hand rear there, and that was all she wrote. So very unfortunate for those drivers at the moment. But back on board with your race leader. He stretched that gap out now to 1.46 seconds over Jamie Craig. So it's still status quo at the front. P1 and 2 off the start and P1 and 2 in the race. So Jordan Mulak, Jamie Craig. Dave Oliver up 1 position into your 3rd position at the moment in the 668 car. He's a further 3.8 seconds down the road. He's followed by the Smith twin. I call them the Smith twins. Not even sure if they're related, but Dan Smith and Brett Smith in the 3rd and 4th position. Let's just give you a bit of an insight into their last lap times to see how these guys are travelling. Lap 7 of 28. Last time round, your race leader was a 124.8. Jamie Craig, 125.08. And then it drops down a little bit. Dave Oliver, Dan Smith, and Brett Smith all around that 125.7 to 125.5 mark as we have a massive battle here going up into the Hawthorne Bend. You can't go too wide through there, gentlemen, but I tell you what, they're going to try, and they all come out the other side, and we've got a block. So they make their way through Hawthorne Bend. They make their way through Westfield, up now in through the Dingledell section. They're still line astern there, but I tell you what, you can't go too wide through Hawthorns, but they just told us, yep, we can do that, Aiden, so don't you worry about that. We're going too wide. So now, looks like that is the battle there with Adam Proctor, Dan Green, Dion Jarvis, Colby Coham there He's up 9 spots into the 13th position. So starting out of P22, Colby has made a great start to this one. He's a little bit off this battle at the moment. He's got 3 seconds to catch up with the likes of Dion Jarvis, Adam Proctor and Dan Green, Anthony Hulme and Adrian Gretsch. But if they keep battling 2-3 wide through Hawthorn Bend, we're going to see that gap evaporate sooner rather than later. But I tell you what, this is the battle of the motor race at the moment. Dan Green, we're on board with at the moment in the green and black car, up in behind Anthony Hulme, who is also chasing down Adrian Gretsch and Martin Hallinan. So this is going to be a 6-car battle at the moment for the Miners, and they're playing for keeps. So they make their way up over the top of the hill, down into Pilgrim's Drop once again for the 8th time. Up into Hawthorn Bend. They were too wide into here last time around. They thought better of it this time. Let's just go single file, boys, and settle this one down a little bit. So they go through there, make their way through Westfield. They'll come up to the Dingledell section once again as they're still single file. You can see Michael Budge off into the distance there. He'd be loving the look of this in the rear vision mirror of his number 8 Porsche 992. Martin Hallinan still leading the way of this battle pack though, but I don't really think we need to take our eyes off this one, Paul. If something's going to happen, I believe this is where it's going to happen. So Martin Hallinan, Adrian Gretsch, Anthony Hulme, Dan Green, Adam Proctor and Dion Jarvis. Where's it going to come from? Dion Jarvis just pokes out in the background there. You can see him in the back of this battle pack, but it's still status quo as they make their way through Paddock Hill Bend once again and up into Druids. Dion Jarvis there in 12th position. We can see him there just at the back of this pack. I'm sure he's hoping these guys battle a little bit more in front. So this is your 12th, 11th, 10th, 9th, 8th and 7th position of the motor race. Those rear rotors are glowing there on Dan Green's car. Dan Green in the green car. So yeah, there you go. There's a little bit of, I should know that now by round 3, Dan Green in the green car. But he's all over the back of Anthony Hulme as they make their way up over the hill into Pilgrim's Drop once again. Is he going to go too wide again through Hawthorn Bend? Are they going to do it again? Anthony Hulme just covers off there on the inside. Nowhere to go there for Dan Green as he tried to switch back but can't quite get the drive. They'll make their way through Westfield again, then up through that Dingledell section. Can Dan Green get the run on Anthony Hulme as they make their way through this section of the track and try and get the move done into Sterling's? He's a little bit too far back this time round. So they make their way through Sterling's. Dan Green getting a lot of push mid-corner, and this has allowed Adam Proctor to get on the outside of Dan Green as they make their way down into the Clark curve. So Adam Proctor going for the switchback on Dan Green. Dan Green's gone, no, it's time to pit. But Dan Green, Adam Proctor looks like he's got a little bit of damage there from hitting the back of Dan Green, as Dan was saying, well, Dan was coming into the pits. Not sure whether these guys need to say whether they're coming into the pits on the radio chat. By the looks of it, they don't have to. So that could have ended in tears for both drivers, but no harm, no foul. And we keep going. So Adam Proctor now is right in behind Dion Jarvis as they make their way through lap 10 of 28. So I tell you what, Paul, is it wrong of me to be a little bit disappointed that we saw a pit stop there? Because that was just starting to heat up as we see Trav Mason there make a move into the 16th position. Sorry, Ricky Provençal and Trav Mason. Sorry, I'm a little bit confused here. Ricky Provençal and Trav Mason having a little bit of a battle further down in the pack there for the 16th and 17th position. But Paul, I was disappointed we saw a pit stop there. That was just starting to heat up.
Yeah, that 6-car battle was looking pretty promising there, and then all of a sudden a very late entry pit stop there from my mind's going blank now.
So that was Dan Green.
Yep, that's
so
the
Dan
one. Green
came into pit stop. Matt Feldman's also made his way through pit lane as well. So they're the only 2 drivers currently to make their compulsory pit stop in this one. So Matt Feldman made his on lap 6. Oh, Matt Feldman just got a massive off track, and I saw it in the background. Matt Feldman with a big moment there. We'll go back and see what happened to Matt Feldman as I couldn't have timed that one any better, Paul. So Matt Feldman here, as he goes through the final turn, makes his way down the main straight one more time. He'll make his way up into Druids. Will the back end get really loose, or will he get caught by that? No, he's got caught in the marbles through Druids. got a massive amount of push and hit that outside line. That's just pushed him straight out. He did a great job to keep that car under control, but that could have ended up very badly for... Okay, it doesn't look like where that's actually happened. Paul's saying in my ear it's happened somewhere else. So he's had another moment. So we'll keep on board here and have a look. But it must have happened a little bit further up. But Matt Feldman with a massive moment there. So Matt Feldman now is in the 20th position. He's got a long way back in this one, but we're still yet to see other drivers make their way through pit lane for their compulsory pit stop. So while we wait for that, we'll make another mention to another one of our amazing sponsors. So Viken Media. Viken Media. So Viken Media produces automotive, event and portrait photography for commercial and social media content, as we just saw where Matty Feldman went off as I was going through the sponsors. So I'll just go through and do that again. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. So Viken Media, they produce automotive, event and portrait photography for commercial and social media content. Their newly founded brand, the owner of Viken, is passionate about people, travel and all things automotive. If you need anything photography, please contact Steve at www.viken.com.au. So all your event photography, portrait photography, commercial, social media content, anything of the like, get a hold of Steve at vikenmedia.com.au or viken.com.au, and he'll be sure to help you out. But we're back on with the battle of the race at the moment. So this is the battle here between Dave Oliver and Brett Smith. Dave Oliver and Dan Smith. Getting confused with the Smiths once again. Dan Smith, you can see up there in the third position. Dave Oliver right over under the back wing of his Porsche 992 at the moment as they make their way through Paddock Hill Bend once again for the 13th time at 28. Up into Druids they'll come now. So Dave Oliver, very racy tonight. He seems to love his way around this Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit, Paul. He's been in it all night. He's been up within that top 5 all night. He's showing a lot of pace in that 668 Porsche 992 as he hassles the back of 313 of Dan Smith. It seems to have settled back a little bit in the background as Ricky Provenzale makes his way into pit lane at the moment as well. Adam Proctor's come through pit lane as well. He came through on lap 12, but he was stationary for, his was a 10.72 second pit stop, plus his 11 odd second transit time. So a bit of a longer time there for Adam Proctor, which will see him fall a couple of spots as they cycle through these green flag pit stops when they decide to do so. But we're still on the battle here with Dave Oliver and Dan Smith. Is Dan Smith going to try and do something here on Dave Oliver, or is he going to come in and try and do the undercut in the pit stop? Not sure whether that undercut's going to work with the fuel drop, because they're going to have to put the same amount in. So it'll be a shorter stop, whoever decides to pit second. But will they be able to get that gap? So this is the battle to watch for the final place on the podium. We're 14 into 28. 14 into 28. Anthony Holmes now blinked and made his way into pit lane as well. So Steven Skukovic has followed suit as well into pit lane. So a couple of the heavy hitters there have decided to pit in this one about half distance. So 14 into 28, they have halved it, and they've made this race 2 halves. So we'll see where that puts them, but this is still the battle for 3rd and 4th as they are on the racetrack at the moment. Dan Smith and Dave Oliver. Brett Smith slowly catching the back of this one, as well as Dave Oliver puts the pressure all over Dan Smith. So we'll see whether Dave Oliver can make this move prior to the pit stop, or whether he wants to make the move prior to the pit stop. But this is the battle for the final place on the podium. They've currently got 1.4 seconds over Brett Smith. So there you go. You can see, ladies and gentlemen, that's what 1.4 seconds looks like around the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit. Might sound like a long way, but not a long way if something goes pear-shaped for the drivers in front. So Dan Smith and Dave Oliver, they make their way through Sterling's for the 14th time, and they'll make their way make their way through Sorry, I'm getting tangled up with my thing. They make their way through Clark Curve now. Sorry, I got tangled up with my microphone. Make their way through Clark Curve for the 14th time. They now go 15th lap here down through Paddock Hill Bend once again. Nice run there for Dave Oliver through the middle of the corner, which allowed him to get a nice run off, but Dan Smith just covers him off under the braking zone there into Druids. Nothing that Dave Oliver could do right there. Nice run out of the corner by Dan Smith, just keeping that gap at about 2 car lengths at the moment. It seems like when Dave Oliver gets just underneath that rear wing of the preceding 992, that aero washer, that massive wing at the back, just doesn't allow him to get that car rotated through the middle of the corner. So he has to back off that little bit earlier to try and get through the corner. That does allow him to get a better run off, but Dan Smith not driving in his mirrors at the moment. He's driving what's in front of him, and he's doing a great job holding off Dave Oliver. Smith's still there. That's 1.4 seconds. Hasn't changed between Brett Smith and Dave Oliver at the moment. So that's just staying a little bit stagnant there as these two guys try and battle it out for the final place on the podium. But back to your leader, ladies and gentlemen. It's still the 196 of Jordan Mulak leading the way over Jamie Craig as we just have a look at Martin Hallinan there. But here's Jordan Mulak. Nice little lead there over Jamie Craig. That's now gone out to 2.7 seconds. They've got a further 9.1 seconds over Dan Smith in the third place at the moment. So bar anything going wrong in this pit stop for Jordan Mulak and Jamie Craig, they've put themselves in a position to have a nice solid result in this one. And this could see win number 5 for the ProCar GT Championship for Jordan Mulak. But let's not put the commentator's curse on him. We're lap 16 into 28, but he's showing a lot of pace. Last lap round, 125.7 for young Jordan Mulak. Jamie Craig with a 125.4, 125.5 for Dan Smith. So the guys in second, third and fourth last time round were about 0.3 of a second quicker than your leading Jordan Mulak. But Jordan's got that nice 2.5 second lead. And if the first 2 rounds and first race of tonight is anything to go by, he's a very smart driver and will just manage that gap between Jamie Craig. But in saying that, I've just seen it drop another 0.2 halfway through this lap, or 3/4 of the way through this lap, as they make their way through Stirling's once again, and will come up to... And they'll come up to Clark Curve once again. Trav Mason just having a little bit of an incident in front of them as they came out of the corner. So Trav Mason having a little bit of an incident. That's not very good for Trav. I tell you what, someone having a great run who started a little bit deeper back in the pack tonight, Paul, is the 777 of Tayfun Ozturkman. He's up 10 spots in the 17th position as we're on board with him as well. So he's having a nice solid drive back there in 17th at the moment, up 10 positions. He still hasn't been through pit lane though. So Anthony Hulme is the first person to go through pit lane in 11th at the moment. But Dave Oliver's just decided to blink and do his compulsory pit stop. So there we go. The battle for what was third and fourth of the motor races has gone into pit lane. He's at a stationary time of 8.15 seconds. So we'll see where that brings him out when all is said and done. But a great drive once again as we're on board with Tayfun. But we go back up with Adrian Gretsch at the moment. Adrian Gretsch in the 6th position. He is chasing down Martin Hallinan in front of him. We'll see where these guys want to pit as well. Colby's up there as well, up 15 spots, Paul, on his starting position. So started out of the 22nd starting spot, and he's up into 7th place. He is lapping about 1/10 or 2/10 of a second quicker than all those ahead of him at the moment. But Brett Smith is all over the back of Dan Smith as we go forward. Sorry, we're jumping around everywhere, ladies and gentlemen, as we try and bring you all the action here on the Intersim Esports Network. But Brett Smith has made his way right up onto the back of Dan Smith. So we saw Michael Budge pit, and this just let Brett Smith off the leash and said, okay, now I can come and try and chase down Dan Smith late in this one. So we're now 18 laps of 28. It's going quicker than I can talk. We've only got 10 laps to go, Paul. Oh, what a great race this is. We can see Adrian Gretsch now going through pit lane. Looks like Ricky Provenzale's in again once again. So Adrian Gretsch has decided this is the time he wants to go through pit lane. So Currently, your top 7 place getters have not been through pit lane. Bradley Carr in 11th hasn't either. But the first driver who's made their way through pit lane is the 668 of Dave Oliver in terms of track position. So he's in the 8th position at the moment. So Mulak, Craig, Smith, Hallinan, Coham, Jarvis haven't made their pit stop. Here's the battle for 9th at the moment between Anthony Holm and Bradley Carr. So Anthony Holm in that distinctive black and white car going for the switchback there as they make their way up into Surtees. Will Anthony Holm be able to make that move? He goes very deep under brakes as you see the brake disc glow. Anthony Holm on the inside can't get the drive there on Bradley Carr. So Bradley comes the better of that one as they made their way through Surtees. They'll come down over Pilgrim's Drop here once again up through the Hawthorns Bend. We'll see whether Anthony Holm has anything for Bradley Carr in this one. Bradley Carr looks like he's losing a little bit of pace late on in this stint. It is quite late. We're 18 or 19 into 28. So the tyres will be wearing off. So Anthony Holm, really racy, he makes the move down into Sterling's. Is there going to be room or contact? They make their way through there. So Anthony Holm's going to be on the wrong side of the road as they make their way up into the final Clark curve once again. Is he going to go for the switchback? No, he's trying to stay on the outside. He knew he was pitting, so there we go. Bradley Carr makes his way into pit lane. I guarantee you we'll almost see Anthony Holm cover that off and do that next lap around. So we'll see whether that is the case, but that's moved. Jamie Craig's now moved up into the 6th position. So he's made the move on Dave Oliver, or kept in front, Dave Oliver. So Jamie Craig is gone up into 6th position. He last came through pit lane on lap 18 last time round. And he was second on the motor race before he came in. So he will be in front of Dave Oliver. He's got 11 seconds now on... Jamie Craig's got 11 seconds on Dave Oliver, so he's going to want to put the quickest laps he's ever done around the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit right now in, because Jordan Mulak is out there on his own at front. I know he didn't take tyres, but he's going to want to do the quickest laps he can to try and bring in that what was 2.5 second gap he had behind Jordan Mulak before he came through pit lane. So let's see. When Jordan Mulak decides to blink this one, he makes his way through Druids once again down into Surtees. Up here he comes. So he'll make his way into Surtees, next corner through here. Up into Surtees he goes. We'll see when he wants to blink. So he's currently on lap 20 of 28. So he'll have to do it very shortly. They've only got a 45% fuel drop. Looking at how many laps they can get out, it'll either be this lap or the next that you'll see your race leader, Jordan Mulak, make his way through pit lane. So he makes his way through Hawthorns Bend up into Westfield again. In through Westfield he goes now. Then that'll bring him into the Dingledale section again. All the way through here, up and down with a very fast right-hander here. Then he'll go through the left-hander of Sterling's. So he makes his way down into Sterling's here. Will he come in this lap? We don't know. We'll see what happens, but he makes his way up that final squirt before he gets to the final Clark curve. Will your leader, Jordan Mulak, make his pit stop this time around? Keep one eye on him. No, he won't. He's going around another time, ladies and gentlemen, so he'll take lap 21 of 28 here for the Blendline TV ProCar GT Championship. As we have a move here, Martin Hallinan getting passed there by Coham. Colby making the pass there. So Colby's up into P2 for this motor race at the moment as well, showing great pace, up 20 spots, up into the 2nd position. He's got 21 seconds down the road, your race leader, Jordan Mulak, but Colby Coham still needs to make his pit stop or make his way through pit lane, as does Martin Hallinan. So we'll see where that puts Colby when he goes through pit lane as well. But one eye on Jamie Craig in 4th position at the moment. He's 2.8 seconds behind this battle. And then Jordan Mulak is a further 22 seconds down the road. It's going to be very close, 11 seconds down, about a 7 to 8 second pit stop. That's about a 19 second pit window, and he's currently about 21 seconds off the lead of this motor race. So keep an eye on where Jamie Craig will be in comparison to your current leader, Jordan Mulak, when he makes his way into pit lane. I'll keep one eye on the live timing to see, and we'll be sure to tell you when Jordan Mulak makes his way through pit lane, but we need to keep on board here with Jamie Craig. So I'm sure it's going to be any lap now. We see your leader, the 196 of Jordan Mulak, make his compulsory pit stop, and he's in as I speak. Your leader of race 2, round 3 of the Blendline TV ProCar GT Championship is in pit lane. Jamie Craig will be your incumbent second place. Colby Coam and Martin Hallen have still yet to make their pits, but they're not going to be in the placings of this one. As we see Jamie Craig make his way down that final stretch through Clark Curve onto the main straight. Where will that put Jordan Mulak? It's saying he's out of pit lane, so he's probably just come out of pit lane. Time is dropping. It's now down to about 3.5 seconds. He just gets held up on the outside there, so that wouldn't have helped him. So it was a little bit bigger, that gap, than I thought. I thought it would have been around that 2.5 second mark. But tell you what, the difference in that, Jordan Mulak had a pit lane time of just a second quicker than Jamie Craig, who is in second place. So Jordan Mulak, when it counted, just nailed that pit stop and gained another second on Jamie Craig through pit lane. And with Jamie Craig getting held up with that car exit as he come through turn 1 there, definitely didn't help Jamie Craig in the 39 car there. So Colby Coham has a 3.92 second lead on the 39 of Jamie Craig. Dave Oliver still sitting there in what will be third position when Colby Coham decides to pit in this one. That is Colby right in behind your race leader at the moment of Jordan Mulak. So Colby will drop out of the second place in this motor race when he pits. But we're 22 into 28, Paul. It is definitely a bit of strategy that time around. I thought that gap would have been a little bit closer, but not only did that 1 second better pit stop from Jordan help him, that little bit of traffic there for Jamie Craig as he's made his way through turn 1 definitely didn't help Jamie.
No, definitely not. Just didn't quite get the run out of turn 1 there, as he was held up a little bit. So he did lose a little bit of time there, but yeah, possibly a little bit slower into pit lane as well. Might have lost a little bit of time there too.
Yeah, most definitely, and we've just seen Colby make his way into pit lane as we're seeing a move there. No, not quite, not enough. Oh, as it looks like Michael Budge there and Adam Gretsch getting involved in what could have been an incident there for Michael Budge as he got the marbles on the outside of 1, but they make their way through Druids and it's status quo. But Adrian Gretsch is all over the back of Michael Budge. This is the battle for the 7th and 8th position, ladies and gentlemen. Adrian Gretsch looking very racy there with Michael Budge wanting to make the move, obviously. So we'll see whether Adrian can get the run off Surtees this time round as they make their way up over the hill and then down into Pilgrim's Drop and into the Hawthorn Bend. Once again, he's a little bit too far behind to make the move or even look at putting the car up the inside there through Hawthorn this time round. So can't quite do that. And yep, Colby Coham had came in pit lane, as I believe I said earlier, unless I'm hearing things in my own voice, I've been talking that much. But Colby Coham did make his way through pit lane. But I tell you what, he's one to mention in this race. Not only did he come through pit lane, not only did he start out of the 22nd starting position, he's come out of pit lane in 5th position, and he's 1.2 seconds the better of your 6th place getter at the moment, Anthony Hulme, who is a further 1.2 seconds up the road of your battle that we were just on board with before between Michael Budge and Adrian Gretsch. There's only 2 real big battles in this one so far left, as there's 24 or 28 laps. That is the 7th and 8th position between Michael Budge and Adrian Gretsch, and the 13th and 14th position between Nico Filippetto and Dan Green. Garth Duffy's a part of that as well. We've just seen them change positions. But the battle at the moment on the racetrack is between Michael Budge and Adrian Gretsch. There is Nico Filippetto. There's Anthony Hulme on board at the moment. So Anthony Hulme has just opened that gap up there to Michael Budge. It's gone back up to 2.7 seconds. So he's got his eyes set firmly on Colby up in front, who just came through pit lane, but back on with Michael Budge now. Looks like Adrian Gretsch has just dropped off the back of him a little bit. So Michael Budge has just wound the wick up there in the number 8 Porsche 992 and just gapped Adrian Gretsch just that little bit. That gap is slowly going out. It's now 0.6 seconds. So Michael Budge turning up the pace when he needs to. Lap 25 of 28. Jordan Mulak, your leader. Jamie Craig, second. Dave Oliver, third. Dan Smith and Colby Coham, or Coham, year 5. I'm sure I got sent how to pronounce Colby's last name during the week, and I did reply to the gentleman, so I do apologise, and I'll get it right for round 4, I do promise you. But Dan Green there on board at the moment. So Dan Green's back in the 17th position on my timing screen. Oh, no, he's not. He's in the 14th position on my timing screen at the moment, as he's right up the back there of Nico Filippetto. So Dan Green and Nico Filippetto going ding-dong in this one as we get to the back end. So we're 25 laps into 28 this time around. And we've got 3 to go here for race 2, round 3 of the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship. Affordable Web Solutions, South Gundagai Automotive, Viking Media. Big players or big people to be a part of the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship. But I tell you what, Nico Filippetto has a mirror full of the 83 of Dan Green. Dan Green's going to want to maybe make a move up here into 30s as he just, he's gone deep into 30s. I was expecting him to try and do the fake. Nico Filippetto's seen him coming, open the steering wheel. That's allowed Nico Filippetto to get a good run there out of 30s down over Pilgrim's Drop. So great move there, or attempt move there by Dan Green. It looked like he had the move done, but he sort of backed out of it as they got into the apex and thought better of it as he went in very deep, and Nico Filippetto comes out the other side of that one, still holding down the 13th position. So 26 laps of 28. Michael Budge has still got that half a second gap over Adrian Gretsch. It's just dropped down a little bit to 0.3 of a second, but Michael Budge catching up onto the back of Anthony Holm too in the 6th position. He's brought that gap down to 1 second, but Matt Feldman there as well. He's been solid in this championship so far, and after having a really, really solid round 1 and not quite as good round 2, but still a good round 2 nevertheless, to have him 3rd place in the championship. He's back there in 10th place so far in this one, and he is chasing down or all over the back of Martin Hallinan there in the 9th position, he's got 6 seconds to catch rather on Michael Hallinan. That is a lap car or another car in front of him. But Martin Hallinan in the 9th position. But that battle, Paul, we'll quickly go back to that battle as we've just ticked over lap 27 of 28, that we've got to go to the battle between Michael Budge and Adrian Gretsch at the moment. So Michael Budge and... Okay, we'll stay on board with Martin Hallinan. So Martin Hallinan and Matt Feldman, 9th and 10th. So now we're with Adrian Gretsch and Michael Budge. So they are for the 7th and 8th position in this one. We'll see whether Adrian Gretsch has anything for Michael Budge. They're coming up on a car in front. Michael Budge is 1.4 seconds behind Anthony Holm, and that's not Anthony Holm's livery in front of them at the moment. So we'll see whether the car in front is a player in this one. But we are 2 laps left here as Michael Budge takes all the exit there. But that is Anthony Holm in front of them. They're catching him hand over fist. So that 1.2 seconds, as we said, does not look like 1.2 seconds. So Anthony Holm, that gap is dropping to Michael Budge, and he's taking Adrian Gretsch along with him. So Michael Budge catching up to the back of Anthony Holm. Anthony's just got to hold on for one more lap to hold on to the 6th place. We're 27 of 28. We're on the second last lap of race 2, round 3 of the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship. And that is Anthony Holm at the moment in the 6th position. Adrian Gretsch in the background, all over the back of Michael Budge as they make their way through Sterling's for the second last time. But we're now 28 of 28. We'll go back on board with your leader because he deserves all the time on the cameras tonight. He's had 2 pole positions, and at this stage he's had 2 wins, but let's not say that yet because he's got to make his way up through 30s. He makes his way through 30s for the final time. He's got 4.5 seconds on Jamie Craig in the 2nd position. Up over Pilgrim's Drop for the final time tonight. Down into Hawthorns Bend he will come. The 196 of Jordan Mulak. 2 pole positions. He's going for 2 wins. This will make it win number 5 of the PROCAR GT Championship here on the Indersim Esports Network. And he is a class above so far through the first 3 rounds. Up through the Dingledell section, he'll make his way now. He'll go through there, and then he's only got 2 more corners to navigate as we see a car off in the background. Jordan Mulak makes his way through Sterling's for the final time, and then he'll make his way up the final straight, and all he's got to navigate is Clark Curve, and he'll be your winner again tonight for race 2 of the Blendline TV ProCar GT Championship. Onto the straight he comes. We're probably going to see the flashlights go. There they go, and Adrian Gretsch is, Jordan Mulak rather, is your winner for race 2, round 3 of the Blendline TV ProCar GT Championship. Jamie Craig home in second. Can Dave Oliver hold on to 3rd position? He can do that as he's flashing his lights over the line. And here's the battle for 4th and 5th. Dan Smith and Colby. Doesn't look like Colby's got anything there to be able to get that 4th place. So it will be Dan Smith and Colby Coham. And we're 2 wide here. Anthony Holman, Michael Budge. Who's going to get that one? It looks like it is Anthony Holm and Michael Budge, Adrian Gretsch, Matt Feldman. Looks like Martin Hallinan and Dion Jarvis will bring home your top 10. But Paul, I've got tongue-tied a little bit there. But we got the battle between Garth Duffy in the 14th position. Nico Filippetto, they're going to go 2 wide. They nearly make contact down the straight, and it's going to be Nico Filippetto over Garth Duffy by 0.002 of a second, if you don't mind. So, as we see the cars slowly make their way over the start-finish line to complete what was race 2, round 3 of the Blendline TV ProCar GT Championship. Paul, tell you what, your fingers are saying, thank God they've stopped now, but what a race that one was.
Definitely quite a clean running there from Jordan Mulak all night. Started on pole and come away with the win in both races. He's going to be a hard one to beat through the rest of the season. He's definitely got a target on his back.
Yeah, he definitely does, Paul, and he's going to be a hard one to beat, as you mentioned. We came into round 2 with a little bit of unknown expectations when it came to Jordan Mulak after such a dominant round one, as he didn't even own the track, and then he came and pretty much just dominated round 2, and we saw much the same tonight with 2 pole positions and 2 wins from start to finish.
Yeah, definitely, and as we've had him in the booth quite a lot over these 3 rounds here, he's said, you know, he's been loving the series, loving the car. It really suits to him as well, so we can see why. But also tonight, Jamie Craig, second in both races as well. So Jamie had a really good race there as well, coming home in second both races, along with Dave Oliver. He had quite a good race himself tonight as well, along with Dan Smith too.
Yeah, everyone had a great race. Jamie Craig, and very notable mention from you, Paul. 2 second positions tonight. I thought he was going to have something for Jordan Mulak there, but we'll quickly run through your final standings for what was race 2, round 3 of the Blendline TV ProCar GT Championship. So Jordan Mulak takes home the win once again. Jamie Craig and Dave Oliver, your top 3. Dan Smith came home in 4th position. Colby Coham in 5th position. Anthony Holm in 6th position. Michael Budge will come home in 7th. Adrian Gretsch in 8th. Matt Feldman in 9th. And Martin Hallinan rounding out your 10. Dion Jarvis in 11th. Bradley Carr in 12th. Nico Filippetto comes home in 13th. Garth Duffy in 14th. Cameron Culverwell in 15th. Dan Green in 16th. Russ Green in 17th. And Tafan Ozturkman in the 18th position. Home in the 19th position was Wayne Visser. Andrew Smith will round out your top 20. Trav Mason in 21st. Ricky Provenzale 22nd. Ashley Kersey 23rd. Brett Smith in 24th. Adam Proctor will come home in the 25th position. Steven Skukovic with an unfortunate race, 11 laps down there in 26th, as was Lindsay Kearns in 27th, and Brian Bullock 27 laps down in 28th, Paul. So a great night of racing by everyone involved. Of course, before we get the drivers up to be able to have a chat with you, they haven't come down into the room yet to have a chat to us, but a massive shout out, of course, to Blendline TV for getting on board and being the major sponsor of the Blendline TV ProCar GT Championship. Of course, as I mentioned, through the broadcast Affordable Web Solutions, Viking Media and South Gundagai Automotive. Get on board with them. So South Gundagai Automotive, of course, for all your automotive needs and also race car prep. Viking Media for all your automotive event and portrait photography, and Affordable Web Solutions for all your business owners that need help with the World Wide Web and getting your business out there. Get a hold of them and support the people that support the iRacing community. So a quick night, Paul, in the office tonight for us. We had a really good, really big call on Sunday night, which had us talking for over 2.5 hours during the race, and a nice short one here for round 3 of the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship. But as I said, it definitely didn't disappoint. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, Jordan Mulak, your winner, Jamie Craig third, and Dave Oliver fourth position. So I'm going to bring those down because those guys have not moved down into the booth at the moment. So I'll just move them down because they are up talking with each other at the moment and keeping us waiting. So we will just go and find Mr. Jamie Craig, who is there, and move him down. And we have your top 3 place getters for the second race, the feature race for round 3 of the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship here from the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit. And we'll go straight into it. Your P3 place getter tonight for the second race, the 668 of Dave Oliver, mate. What a race. Great job.
Hey, hello. Thanks, guys. I was actually pleasantly surprised with how tonight went. I hadn't had much successful testing and practice. But yeah, I think it was qualified just outside the top 10 and was able to make a decent inroads in the first race. And then, was able just to keep out of trouble and just follow the Jordan and Jamie pull away into the distance in the second race.
Well, mate, it's definitely a good job. You kept us on the edge of our seats. Had some good battles there. Brands Hatch looked a little bit tricky to pass tonight on occasions. Did you find that behind the 668 car tonight that it was a little bit tricky to pass? You did mention you did start rather just outside the 10 in race 1, and you made some nice moves up there to have a solid starting position in race 2. But was it a tricky place to pass tonight?
Yeah, you kind of had to kind of pick your moments and kind of pressure guys into mistakes. So that was pretty much how I made a couple on track moves in the first race, and then in the second race, it was just a case of just keep it clean. And I had a slow down on one of them, and then had to let Daniel Smith through. And then just around in that mid race when the pit window had opened, I saw that we were coming up on one of the lapped cars, and I kind of rolled the dice and jumped in the pits, and it actually ended up working because unfortunately Daniel and the lap car had a bit of a tangle, so I was able to undercut Daniel through the pit stops. So in the end, that's what helped me secure P3, even though he did come back and push for it at the end. Unfortunately, he went off track, but yeah, I think he still finished 4th. So it was a great battle with Dan and with Brett Smith and Michael Budge. So
yeah, he did, mate. Dan Smith in the 313 finished about 4 seconds behind you there in 4th position, just holding off the 25 of young Colby. So yeah, still coming home in 4th. But Paul, over to you, mate. You've been busy on the cameras all night. Your time to get amongst it, mate. Have a chat to Dave.
Oh, still busy on him, but
that's true.
that was quite a good solid race for you tonight, Dave. Obviously, the first 2 races sort of didn't go probably your way as you planned. I don't think you actually ran the first race, did you?
DNF the first race of the first round and then ran in the second. But yeah, that was the first 2 rounds haven't exactly, as you said, gone my way, and it's good to be back up the pointy end.
Yeah, well, hopefully with the results we've seen tonight, you can keep them coming as well, and we'll see you back in the booth next week, hopefully.
Yeah, get ready for play ping pong, bounce off the walls at Long Beach next week.
Hopefully we don't see that from a commentator and broadcast point of view. Hopefully do, but for you drivers, hopefully not. But Dave Oliver, mate, congratulations on your P3. Obviously a big shout out to sponsors and people involved.
Yeah, firstly, thanks to you guys for putting on tonight. Also to the Blendline TV ProCar series and all the guys that run that. And to the race control guys, that was actually really good. And personally, Synergy Sim Racing and DO Photo, Dave Oliver Photography, subtle plug. But yeah, pretty much, yeah. Thanks again for a great night.
No worries, Dave. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Your third place getter for race 2, round 3 of the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship. It is the 668 of Dave Oliver, which moves us straight to the second place getter, the 39 of Jamie Craig. Jamie, mate, I thought you had something there for Jordan when you pitted that couple of laps earlier. I was looking at the relative, and what got you there in the end was his pit stop was a second quicker than yours, and you got caught up a little bit with a bit of traffic through one when he was rejoining, and that sort of put pay to your effort to try and win the motor race. Jordan quick at the front again, mate, but good drive there to get P2.
Yeah, we tried at the start of the race to put some pressure on him, but we hung there for a bit, cooked the tyres, and then tried to pit early. And on the couple of laps after the pit stop, just couldn't get the tyres to come back. So lost a bit of time there, caught a few lap cars, and then that was it. So Jordan's just so consistent. It's so hard to get anywhere near him. So yeah, it was a couple of lonely races by myself in both races. So a little bit lonely, but good fun nevertheless.
Well, sometimes the lonely ones, mate, are the good ones because it means you're not really involved in much stuff. So sometimes they are the good ones. But your car was super quick all night. You got 2 second-place finishes and off the front row for that second one again. And, yeah, mate, nice solid drive for P2.
Yeah, cheers. The first race was good fun. We just watched a few cars go off in front of us and they just kept it clean. Brought it home P2, fairly close to Jordan.
Yeah, mate, fairly close there. It ended up being 4.64 seconds in the end. I was expecting it to come down to about 1.5 or 2 seconds after that pit stop, but Jordan just absolutely nailed that last pit stop, and with his fuel drop probably a little bit shorter, pitting a little bit later, that put pay to that, mate. But solid drive nonetheless, and that's going to move yourself up in the championship, no doubt. But big shout out to those sponsors and everyone involved for your podium tonight, mate.
Yeah, big shout out to the ProCar team. I haven't raced this series in a while, so big shout out to those guys, you guys, the broadcasters, race control, and everyone for turning up. It's good to see a lot of fast guys. That probably 10 guys at the front win races. So it's just an awesome battle and good fun.
Well said, mate, and congratulations once again on your P2. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen, P2 for race 2, round 3 of the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship, the 39 of Jamie Craig, which moves us to the winner once again. Hang on, I've just got to get that chair out again. Yep, got it out. Right, ready for you, Mr. Mulak. Jamie Mulak, mate, you're making a habit of this.
This race wasn't easy. You really had to hustle the car around the track. It was so different to Phillip Island and also to the Hungaroring. They're 3 completely different tracks from each other, so it was a very new challenge to take this on. And yeah, guys like Jamie, they actually brought it to me at the start of that second race. I know that on some laps he was starting to put me under a bit of pressure and probably pushed me to a pace that I wasn't as happy with running. But no, the car still felt good around there, and it was fantastic for us to actually have a green flag race, with no safety car in the feature for once. So no, it shows a lot about how the field as a whole is really improving throughout the series.
Well, mate, you did mention you had to hustle the car around the track as opposed to the likes of the Hungaroring and, of course, Phillip Island. You're now 5 wins from 7 starts, 6 podiums from 7 starts. Obviously going to walk away from this one at round 3, extending that championship lead at the front by quite a substantial margin. Obviously a long way to go in the championship. We're only round 3 of 10. Anything can happen. But what gives you the edge in the 992 over the rest of the field at the moment? Is it the tracks? Is it, we can't, from an outsider, a fellow driver and a commentator, I can't really say it's the tracks because they've been 3 different tracks and totally different ways you need to drive their way around the tracks. I've had a couple of laps in each of the practice sessions you guys have put up just to get my head around them myself. And mate, what do you think so far after the first 3 rounds has just given you that little bit of that 2% edge over the rest of the field at the moment?
Blind faith in the car. I don't know. It suits my driving style, and I don't really know why. I missed the 991 a lot. That was really good, but it was pretty on edge, which probably would have been detrimental to a much wider group of people. You really had to drive that car on a knife edge, and it was really niche to get it right. Whereas this one just feels a lot more compliant. So probably still driving them very similar, but having that kind of extra safety net with this car is maybe why I feel so comfortable with it. Just I'm a big fan of having braking confidence, and I feel like you've got that in abundance with this car, and also a really solid front end. The nose on it is really good. When you point it into a corner, if you've set it up right, it feels really good. So yeah, I don't really know why I've gelled with it so well. It's just a nice car to drive, and the baseline setups that we run are pretty good too. So no, and having that mix of tracks is also good because it means that everyone's learning how to adapt to the car. And next week at Long Beach, that's going to be completely different again. So yeah, don't know what to make of next week. We might be seeing the safety car out a bit more than usual. But no, it's a good car, and I think that certainly for this season, it's a lot better to have the 992 rather than the old 991, because that would have just caught too many people out, and that doesn't really make for good racing.
How did you...
sorry, Paul,
jump in here, hang on. Got a question for you. How did you find tonight? A little bit different. The sun went down in race 2 and the lights came on. How did you find the differences there?
It was all right. It was manageable. I mean, pounding out as many laps as we did. I mean, with that first race, it didn't really feel like a sprint. It kind of felt like a mini feature with 15 laps around here, because it's not a short lap, and it's not an overly long one, but no, to keep kind of hammering out those times consistently, it kind of does wear you down. And yeah, in the second race, it was much the same. Just as long as you know what you're doing in the first couple of laps, and I've always got my relative bar on, so I know roughly how I'm doing compared to my best lap. I was actually pretty happy though in that second race, because I was able to set a new personal best lap. I think it was like a high 24.3, and that was pretty early in the race. So that showed the pressure that Jamie was putting on to me, because I could see him slightly coming, and the gap was a lot closer than I wanted it to be. So yeah, just put the head down and put that gap on him early. But yeah, I'll admit I'm a bit fatigued at the moment. I did have my second COVID shot this morning, and it's been slowly chipping away and kind of wearing down at me. I said to my teammate Matt Feldman when we're on the comms that I can feel my limbs a lot more than I usually can. So yeah, definitely glad that the race ended now, not a bit later on, because I might be a bit too tired to turn the steering wheel a bit later.
Well, you definitely got away with that one, and even done it after the COVID shot and not feeling the best, mate. So amazing job once again to take yet another win here on the Blendline TV ProCar GTE Championship, mate. Of course, your turn. Big shout out as always to those sponsors and everyone involved.
Yeah, we've got to thank the series sponsors, Blendline TV, Portable Web Solutions, South Gundagai Automotive, Bike and Photo, and Intersim. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to put this on. Thanks to you guys in the commentary team as well, and the whole ProCar team as a whole, for letting us come race. It's still a lot of fun. It's still my favourite Tuesday night activity. And yeah, personally, just got to thank the DGR Digital Global Racing team for all the support they give us. And yeah, it's just nice to know that there's a team backing you, and that there's always support out there. And yeah, thanks again to everyone for actually putting on a really good round this week. You know, no safety cars it's a reflection of how everyone's improving in this series. So that's some really good stuff, and hopefully we can keep that going for the future. But I'm not too sure how we'll go at long.
I'm sure you'll be there or thereabouts, mate. But once again, congratulations on your P1 tonight. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. We'll let Jordan go and celebrate his spoils for what was yet another win here on the Blendline TV ProCar GT Championship. So once again, Jordan Mulak coming home with your win, 2 starts, 2 wins tonight. Jamie Craig home in second. Dave Oliver rounds out your podium. But that brings to an end what was round 3 of the Blendline TV ProCar GT Championship here on the Intersim Esports Network. But it all doesn't stop for Paul and I here. As I said, on the Intersim Esports Network, this Friday night, join us here from 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time as we bring you round 2 of the simrigs.com Full Throttle Sim Racing League's Next Gen Cup Series for the Texas 200. So we look forward to bringing you that one. We will have Sunday night off as we wrapped up the final round at the Indy 400 for the Supercars, Australasian Supercars E-Series last Sunday. So we will have Sunday night off this week. But then we will be back on board on Tuesday night for what will be round 4 of the Blendline TV ProCar GT Championship at the virtual Long Beach Raceway, and then we will be back once again the following Friday for the 3rd round of the simrigs.com Full Throttle Sim Racing League's Next Gen Cup Series. Then that Sunday will bring you round 1 of the season 2 of the Australasian Supercar E-Series, which will kick off on the 25th of October. So we look forward to bringing you all the action, but a lot more to bring to you here on the Intersim Esports Network before we get to that. But we will see you on Friday night, as we said, for round 2 of the Next Gen Cup Series, brought to you by simrigs.com for the Texas 200 from 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Savings Time or Daylight Saving Time. Remember, you've got the Daylight Saving Time, and it's actually an hour ahead, so that'll be 8:30 p.m. for all you New South Wales and Victoria viewers. But from Paul and myself and everyone at the Intersim Esports Network, we thank you for joining us here for what was round 3 of the Blendline TV ProCar GT Championship, and we look forward to seeing you on Friday night. Have a good night.